I'm like burping because I I eat a burrito. And I had queso, which was maybe a mistake, but you know, the queso was delicious, so it was worth it. Today we are building the Neo80. Pre-order started December 27th, and this is my first Neo board that I've built. Guess what color? Oh shit. Guess what color we have? Well, I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with bed. So we have the red color unit. It comes in both wind key and wind keyless. There are 12 different colors, but there are 2 alternative bottom colors. So technically there are 12 top colors and then 14 bottom colors. There's 10 different weights, and this starts at 110 and ranges to 190-ish. It can be plateless, gasket, O-ring, and now technically sandwich. It uses the magnet connector daughter board, and then it uses a custom ball catch structure. There are 5 plates and 3 PCBs. This is the red colorway, but they also have white, retro white, pink, lilac, champagne, green, purple, navy, red, baby blue, black, and silver. And then for the alternative bottom case, you have silver and champagne. In terms of weight colors, there's white, black, golden, copper, silver dusk, chroma silver, black, dark golden. They have 3 finishes. So you have the white, so this is one finish. There's also a mirror finish, and there's a stonewash finish. So PCBs, you have tri-mode, you have solder, and you also have wired. Plates, you have 5 options, but today we're going to be building with palm and carbon fiber. These do not have per key RGB. So first impressions is that it looks pretty good, looks smooth, looks consistent. The weight is like a little inconsistent. That's like me being nitpicky. The case finish is pretty nice. Looking at the case, here's the top. So it's interesting because this top piece is curvy, but then if you look at this bottom piece, it has a lot more straight lines. So it kind of contrasts. This part is like curvy, but then this part is very rigid. So you have the little Neo right here. You have 4 feet, and then you have the weight. Instead of this just being like a rectangle, there's actually cutouts for the feet. And then here's a USB port. This case does not have any screws. It uses a ball catch structure. So apparently this ball catch system is their own design rather than like pre-existing one. The size, the number of balls, and the spring pressure have all been optimized to fit the design of this. Another issue that they addressed is that they noticed that the case in the F row is prone to getting scratched whenever you're like disassembling it. They've changed the thickness on the keyboard to prevent any keycap scraping when removing the top case. The bottom case now has silicone sockets at the 4 corners, providing extra layer of cushioning between the top and bottom case. Here are the 4 silicone corners that they were talking about. It's actually been machined out. The silicone slides into this slot right here. And then here you can see the ball catch structure. So it is a separate piece. It has 2 screws securing each one. 4 on the top, 3 on the bottom. They are spaced a little differently. And here you can also see these gaskets. So there's 2 integrated force brakes from what I'm seeing, these 4 corners, and then you have these 2. And then here you can see the magnetic connector, which is also flexi. Here are the cutouts for depending on which mounting style that you're going to be using. And then you can also see it on the top case. So those are the half balls. They're kind of sticking out like that. So these clamp onto the bottom. So these will retract in and out, these half balls. And on the top piece, you can also see like the cutouts. So this would be for another mounting. So now let's look at the PCB. As you can see, there are leaves on the PCB. They're a little crazy. First of all, you have the switch for tri-mode. In terms of layout, you can do step or regular caps lock. You can do different bottom rows with the space bar. You can split your left shift. You can split your right shift. Looks like it has ISO. You can do split backspace if you like. Here you can see these are the LEDs for this part right here on the case. There are indicators for caps lock. Here's the back. So here is the magnetic connector. I was saying that the tabs, the PCB tabs on this is a little crazy, because here you have, you know, like the square, or like the square overall shape, but then if you look right here, it's curvy instead of having like that square shape that you would see up here. But then this side integrates that. So this side has the curve, but then it has, you see how this is not a uniform shape, and then if you down here it is, and then you have the side, right, you see how this here is solid, but then right here you only have one tab. So it's kind of like there's 3 designs here that they like mixed and matched. I'm guessing it's because of the different mounting styles, so they had to design it for that. It's interesting to see that this is the way they designed it. All their PCBs have no flex cuts and no per key RGB. So you have tri-mode hot swap, you have wired hot swap, and then you have soldered. So you have your standard foam. This one is interesting because this does not have the outer layer. It kind of reminds you of a waffle. So there's 5 plates. There's Alu, FR4, carbon fiber, POM, and PC. None of the plates have flex cuts. You have these, which I would say are more like relief cuts, but you're not going to see any like flex cuts in the middle of the alphas. This is the cutout for the LED on the case. So nothing too crazy about the plate. The palm plate looks to be the same. So similar to the carbon fiber plate. You know, I was gonna do a brand deal. I was gonna sign up for another brand deal. Today my cousin was like, I don't like their CEO. She's like a budget, watered down Gwyneth Paltrow and it's awful. And I was like, damn. Okay. Yeah. She's like, well, if you like the products. And I was like, well, I guess I'll pass. let's talk about the board. Let's talk about it. This is the Neo80. On the top, you can see there is this LED light right there. So looking at the top piece, so this is for the sandwich mount. This is for where the plate would fit in. So let me show you. So these grooves are for the sandwich mount right there. Looking at the mounting points, so there's a couple different mounting points. You have the 4 on top, and then you have the 3 on bottom. Each of these mounting positions, it has the 4 mounting styles integrated. So first thing is that it has a groove. So this is how the jacket would fit in. You have these 2 circles for the dumbbell. You have this middle circle for the standoff, and then you have this post for the O-ring. Underneath where the weight is where the batteries reside. The reason why you need the plate to do O-ring is because the O-ring rests in between the plate and the PCB. So if you do plateless, you can't do it. Also, the plate has the standoffs for the sandwich mount. The PCB is a little crazy. This is a tab that you can put the jacket over. The tab has these cutouts where you can put the dumbbell in, and then in the middle of the tab, there's a cutout, and that's where the standoffs for sandwich can go through. And then last thing to mention is that if you're doing O-ring, you need these standoffs. So you can see there's one right here. So there's 4. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's the thing. I would be careful picking the board up like from one end. If you're going to pick the board up, I would not pick it up from the top case. Pick it up from the bottom case. Because as you can see, I just tried to lift it and it popped up. But that's like the trade-off with like the ball and catch mechanic. But that's the build. Thank you, Case, for sending it out. I think that is about it.